They live the life. False pretense every day. Each and every day. I see what happens with that. Anything to materialize every wish each man. Every day, each and every day. Alright, let's see. I think it'll work. Try one more time. Try to get Facebook in. Sorrow. Guiltiness. Bob Marley. Alright, critical. We gotta go a different way. Facebook. Alright, let's go a different way. Maybe it's just they're not doing Veterans Day. It's not going to be Veterans Day. No. Gotta keep the lines going. Good morning. I gotta try to bring Facebook in. It's acting up. Support the troops. Listen to the veterans on Veterans Day. Bro. Yeah, they took away live streaming. That's it. Nope. No live stream. Bandwidth. Nope. Bruh, you're not allowed. You've been banned. That's it. Alright. I think YouTube is up. You've been temporarily banned from live streaming. Each and every day. I knew that was coming. You know it was coming. I told you it was coming. Y'all listen. Nope, that's it. Facebook Live is done. Alright, let me see. Going over here. Boom! Let me see if they gave me a message. That'll be good. It'll be good to see that. I want to see if they gave me a reason why they're blocking me on Facebook. Nope. You are not allowed to go live on Veterans Day. Hell no. Hell to the no. Y'all out there reporting me. That's right, because you got to get your wars on. You got to have our wars. All right, let me see. I guess we're on YouTube today. Oh, let me see if anybody's on YouTube. Put that right there. Every day. Let me send a message to Facebook people. Blocked. You gotta go to YouTube. All right. What is this? And the photo might be me. My face, what's this? Free yourselves from mental slavery. Mike Emmel. Why am I at the top? Tag myself. Somebody put me in me. I don't even know what that is. Sure. You can tag me if you want. All right, I'm looking for my blocked message. Oh, you know what? Let me try this. Let me try something. Maybe if I go live on Facebook directly, they'll tell me why I'm blocked. They're creating a live. No, can't do it. Blocked. No live today for Facebook. All right. Anybody here on YouTube? Let me just check and see. Am I even on YouTube? No, I should be on YouTube. I don't know. All right. So let's take this down because there was no interactions from the emoticons. All right. Facebook live comments off. We'll do YouTube. You're running away. You can't run away from yourself. You can block my live streams, but you can't run away from yourself. Blocked. Blocked. Live on YouTube. I think I'm live. Am I live on YouTube? Oh, stop singing. Let me see if I'm live on YouTube. Blocked today. It's Veterans Day. I'm not here to play with you on Veterans Day. You can play with other people. No, I'm not gonna play with you. Too many people done died. Too many people done died to keep lying to people. Keep lying to young people who just want to serve their country. But I get the Global Alliance's position. They got to do their job. Their job is to stop people who are like trying to have a truthful conversation about war and what the wars are always about. To silence the, oh yeah, okay, I'm live. Blocked. Live on YouTube. I love Facebook anyway. Blocked on Facebook. Let me see. Let me say live. Blocked on Facebook. Live on YouTube. Love you anyway, Facebook. I shouldn't call them Facebook. I call them fashion book. Call them war book. No. Emotions book. Emotions book? No. I should just make the post, and I don't even know what I'm going to say on it. All right. Anyway, I'm blocked on Facebook. So that's it. I love you anyway, Mark. What was it, Mark? Mark doesn't do the blocking. Live blocked on Facebook, live on YouTube. Love you anyway. All right. I know I came out the gate swinging this morning. I wasn't upset. I'm not here to play. All right. We'll post that. And I'll post my YouTube page. All right. And then we'll see if we can get started. See if anybody's over here. I don't know what's happening Veterans Day. Let me see. I know I got to work today. You may not got to work. I got to work today. All right. So live on YouTube right there. And let me see if I put the link. So I can put the link. Live on YouTube right there. It will let me do the link. That'll be interesting. All right. Boom. Shadow ban. Bad man. Bad man. Oh, why I say humanity is an organism? That's no humanity. Well, humanity is one organism, but for some reason when I go live, it says that. All right, what are we talking about today? I want to talk about ethics. Support the troops. That's what I want to talk about. Supporting the troops is supporting the veterans. That's what I want to talk about. So let's see if people want to come into YouTube. Baby. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, doom, doom. I should put block. Let me see if I can find a good block thing. Find a good block on Facebook. Find a big thumb icon and put like an X over it. I crack you. Why are you laughing? Let me see. How do you find out who blocked you on Facebook? Oh, no, I don't want to find that out. Ooh, I like this right here. Let's do this one. Boom, 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 boom. All right, that right there. And I'm gonna change my background, and we can ask the question: why would Facebook be blocking people on Veterans Day? Well, because if you come from a military family, you're not there to lie with other people. And I might have pissed somebody off early this morning. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to make up stories and lies about war with people. Bottom line is your politicians are lying about war. If your GDP is based on chicken sales and you are Kentucky Fried Chicken, you're gonna sell chicken. Okay? Doesn't matter what people want, doesn't matter what people think. They can talk about their anti-chicken all day. You can hire a new colonel. You can get him in there. But the reality is, he's gonna sell chicken. That's how it goes. So I'm blocked on Facebook. Hang on. Let me, I think I found a blocked icon. There we go. Facebook, look, blocked. Blocked. I'm not here to play with you. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to play. Oh, war is good. We're going to end the wars. Nope. Not going to end the wars. Not end the war. Our GDP is based on war. Our GDP is based on burger places, burger joints ain't going to give up on the burgers. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to tell you how I see it. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. Good morning, Phyllis. Good morning. Good morning, Hey Hun. Saw your post being blocked. Yeah, Hey Hun. They were playing. I let them know early on this morning. I'm gonna talk about it's Veterans Day, so I'm gonna talk about how do you support the troops. Listen to the veterans. That's the only way you support the troops. You cannot listen to the politicians. And the truth media on Facebook is filtered by the Global Alliance, right? NATO organization. So war has to be good. Sending young kids to go and fight and die for oil companies has to be a good thing. I don't believe that. I appreciate all the veterans who came home and told the truth. I appreciate the police who tell the truth. I appreciate people who tell the truth. I don't appreciate people who lie. I get people who get like trapped in the lies. I get that. A lot of people get pulled into lies and they get trapped. They don't know any damn better. So, so I proceeded to say, because you know what? What did I post? I think I was having a happy Veterans Day to the veterans who came home and said the wars are a lie. Happy Veterans Day to the USS Liberty. Happy veterans. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans who came home and said the wars are unnecessary. Happy Veterans Day to the veterans, the soldiers who went to the war zone and said, we can't find any terrorists. All we're finding is poor people who are like defending their property and their land and their farm from an invader. Happy Veterans Day to all of them. But, you know, happy Veterans Day. But some didn't leave the military, though. Some came home and they stayed in, you know, but poverty does that. Poverty does that, you know. And if you ask me, what kills more, Citigroup or, you know, serving in the military? Working at Citigroup, working at First National Bank or something as a teller, or serving in the military. And I think they all kill. They all murder. Working for Monsanto, working for pharmaceutical companies, all of these things are murderous organizations. They all kill, they all maim, they all rob, they all murder. You know, and poor, you know, some people got to do what they got to do, put bread on the table. That's why I believe that we have to say honest things and accept that everybody thinks they're right. Everyone thinks they're right. But that's how it kind of started. And I think they posted a link. Let me see if I can go find it. I don't want to put anybody on blast because you never know who reported you and took down your live streaming ability on Veterans Day because they know you're about to talk about their lying wars. None of your politicians are going to end the wars. They can't. They can't. Our GDP is based on war. You know, the parties, that's how they get their paychecks. They're not going to stop the wars. They're not going to slow down. They'll pick and choose the wars, but they're not going to stop and slow down. I think someone posted, what was this? He posted a link to Mike Gravel, which I think I like Mike Gravel. I think I've heard him talk in the past, but I think he's running for president. And hang on, let me change the music. I think he's running for president, and he's got some ideas on how to stop, you know, having wars, and I guess he wants to be president or something. I couldn't listen to it. Hang on, let me change the music. I couldn't listen to it because he started going on about healthcare. He started going on about what we can do here and infrastructure and everything in America. And my reply to it is I can't watch it. I can't watch it. And now here's why. Here is why. Let me change my picture. Here is why. Let me see if I can find a good picture that, you know, when you start talking about what you're gonna do with the spending of war. Let me see if I can find a party picture. College party. I'm looking for a college party. something like, look like a bunch of drunk people sleeping on the floor after a party. Sometimes the party isn't what you think it is. You're just going to a party. You thought it was going to be fun. Have some fun, meet some people, do some drinking, do some dancing. But it turns out that wasn't the whole purpose of the party. So let's do this. Let me find. What was that? Oh, that's it. Okay. Let's do a college party. Because here's my example, and this is the feeling I got like listening to Mike Gravel talk on whatever that was. It's like going to a party. You ever go to a party and you think the party's about what it's going to be about? In college, I get to a party and you start looking around. And you think, whoa, hang on. Wait a minute. What's that? What are y'all snorting over? I came to a party to have fun and dance and sing and stuff. If you snorting that stuff in your nose and the police come in here, I'm going to have issues for a couple decades. And you leave the party. So let's say, I don't know, we were going to a party called America. They advertised it on something called civics class. And they told you the party was just for fun. You can go to the party, have some fun, dance, sing, everybody have fun, go home, everybody's consenting to whatever they're doing, it's all good. But when you start talking about the next morning, you wake up, I don't know, wake up on your friend's floor. And you start looking around like, well, wait a minute. Why some people got their clothes off and other people bleeding and beat up and whatever? What the hell happened last night? What happened while I passed out? Maybe you start to realize you were at an Epstein party. And so if you go to a party and you're having fun downstairs and you didn't realize upstairs they were up to some nefarious stuff that they're not supposed to be doing, the next morning, and you find out that, I don't know, let's say that somebody got raped. Let's call that raping Africa. I don't know, let's call it Latin America. Let's call it the Middle East. Let's call the people we raped and looted some of the nations we've destroyed and robbed and stole minerals and resources for the past couple hundred years. Do you A, start to talk about what you're gonna do with what you stole from her purse, right? Are you gonna talk about healthcare? Walls. You're gonna talk to me about, well, you know, it happened upstairs. We didn't do it. We didn't participate. So let's talk about what we can do with what we stole from these other nations. And that's the kind of the feeling that I get. I feel like I've been invited to a party called America, and I was trying to have fun. Come to find out the wars were a lie. They were funneling weapons all over the world. The veterans told us this. They told us there are no terrorists. They told us they're making terrorists. And they came home and they became anti-war activists. And we ain't listening. And I'm all about listening. I don't care what Mike Gravel wants to do with the booty from war. I don't care what he wants to do with what we've looted. I don't care what the Democrats, and this is why I couldn't listen. I couldn't listen because I don't care what the Democrats and Republicans want to do with what they've stolen from the world, right? We were at a party. We thought it was about democracy and freedom and all of this good stuff. Come to find out, they were raping and pillaging the world. And the military told us that. They came home and they told us the truth. So I don't want to talk about what we're going to do with what we stole from a woman's purse who was raped upstairs. What am I going to do? I find out I'm at a lion party and they were doing that upstairs. I'm going upstairs. I want to talk. The first thing I want to hear out of Mike Gravel or any of your leaders, any of your people, the first thing I want to hear out of their mouth is, we need to get this woman to the hospital. That's the first thing I want to hear. The first thing I want to hear is, well, what do we do to fix what we've done? We didn't know that this was happening. I don't want to hear your politician talking about, well, let's spend the money out of our purse first. I'm gonna give you some things. Here you go. You know, I voted for war, so I'm gonna give you some of the things out of her purse. And this is my problem. That's my problem. And that got me in trouble this morning. I think that got me in trouble. I don't know. They blocked me, so that was it. But I don't care what you want to do with what you stole from somebody who y'all raped upstairs in Africa, who y'all raped upstairs in the Middle East, who y'all raped upstairs in Latin America. Don't start to tell me and bring me into your dirt. Your crimes are your crimes. They're not my crimes. Your war crimes are yours. So I'm not interested in that. You know, the first step in, if you're a sentient creature, is that if you were involved in a party called America and you believe in like freedom and democracy and ethics and whatever, and you realize that, well, wait a minute, this was an Epstein party? Y'all was killing and raping and doing stuff like, oh no, 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 no. We need to go upstairs. Somebody need to call 911. We need to get some help to Africa. We need to get some help to Venezuela. We need to get some help to Congo. We need to get to help we need to help people first. And no, you don't get to spin the loot from war. No, you don't get to do that. You rob people. I don't want a dime from that. It's like, oh, don't get me into reparations. I was talking about reparations this morning. But anyway, that's what got, I think that got me in trouble. I'm not interested in them trying to pull me into their dirt and collude with killers. If a chicken company, chicken joint, tells you, you know what? We're going to stop selling chicken. The way your politicians tell you that they're going to stop supporting war and they're going to end the wars. Do you believe them? Do you invest in them? Do you invest your time? Do you go find other people to bring in to lie about ending war that you can't? Your GDP's based on it. None of your politicians are going to end the war because our model is war. That is who we are right now. That's why they bought our nation in 1913, 1933. That's why I ain't on Facebook right now. I'm not upset about it. I think it's a little funny, but that's how they go. People don't want to hear that. They will report you. They'll shut you down. They want to go along with taking what they looted out that woman's purse. They don't see the rape. They don't see the rape at all. That's why I say you want to support the troops, listen to the veterans. Listen to the veterans, and the veterans will tell you the truth. Anyway, good morning. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We all on YouTube this morning. How y'all doing this morning? I am. Hopefully you can go back on Facebook tomorrow. Probably Ivana. I don't know. Depends on how much they have to figure out how naughty I was. I know. Because I was going to talk about the USS Liberty. I was going to get into it. I say it depends on how naughty they think I was. Maybe it'll be back tomorrow. I don't know. But here's the point. The point is they're not our platform, right? This is what I tell people, that you got to go follow people wherever they are, because you're not going to stay on platforms for long. These platforms are all in bed with mass media. Right? Mass media, it requires war. They're complicit with all of this. So we were talking about that, and I think a brother responded. We had a couple good comments on the thread this morning. One of the soldiers responded, and he said, which brother was that? Was that Colin? I forgot who that was. He said that, people say they try to thank me for my service, and I say, thank me for what? What are you thanking me for? And I get what he's saying, and it's deep, and that's a lot of love in that veteran's heart. But I still do it anyway, and I try to explain to him, I always thank veterans for their service. I always do. Because I don't thank them for the job they did. There's a difference between wanting to serve your country, wanting to serve poor people, wanting to help because you got passion, compassion, and you believe in national defense. There's a big difference between that service and once you get roped in to the job that you got to do. The service is when you get that sheet of paper, right, and they decide I want to serve. And they sign their name on the dotted line. I'm going to defend my country, defend my neighbors. I'm a good person on the inside. I got ethics. I want to make sure that my family is safe. That is something you thank people for all the time. You thank them for the service, but the job is the problem. And the good thing about delineating it that way is the soldiers don't determine their job. The politicians determine that. The voters determine that. All the soldiers, they decide, you know what? I need to make some money. I don't know how to do it. I can go do this, that, or the other. I'm going to do it in the service of people who I love. And I always thank them. So I told him, I said, you know what? I get that, you're feeling that regret, because I have a lot of friends that are veterans. They feel that regret for the things that they did, but the things you did were not your fault. You had nothing to do with the things you did. You had nothing to do with the job. You didn't put yourself on a helicopter. You didn't put yourself on a C-141 and fly yourself to some warring land and be dropped off with other brothers with guns and tanks and things. You defended yourself. You did what you were told to do. Soldiers are not, to me, I don't blame any soldiers for the job they do because they didn't determine their job. They didn't write the job description. They signed up in service to help people. But then the job, the politicians, the ones that y'all want to get me voting for, that say that they're anti-war, they authorize the wars. They authorize and uphold a federal government that requires war to exist. The political parties need the income from the wars. They need those campaign contributions to stay in power. They're not going to give that up. They'll lie to you about giving it up, but they can't give it up. No more than a chicken joint can give up selling chicken. no more than a burger joint can give up selling burger, right? And so I appreciate the soldiers, and I tell them that all the time. So I told them, I appreciate the love of you questioning your service. The fact that you question your service means that you are a sentient human being. It means that you got empathy, compassion, and love. I said, I appreciate, I'm thankful for the veterans, and happy Veterans Day to the veterans who went back to the war zones like Vietnam to help. Because there are a bunch of veterans that are there now, right? Who realized that it was all a lie, and they went back to help the people. There were some people who didn't leave, some of the soldiers who stayed in Vietnam once they realized they were being lied to what the wars were about, that the wars aren't really wars, they're political. They take a hill to give the hill back, to take the hill to give the hill back. That politics were being played, right? That our soldiers were getting killed in wars we shouldn't even been in for political means, right? They saw the cargo jets full of cash being flown out, right? They know that this is all a lie. So anyway, that got me in trouble this morning. So I'm blocked on Facebook. I have no idea. I think I just can't go live, right? So it's very specific. And that's the funny part, is they blocked my ability to go live, not my ability to post. I can post, I can't go live, right? Because they realize that these things are effective. They realize that this conversation is dangerous to the war engine. They need you to be a Democrat or a Republican or a Green Party. They need you to support the federal government. They need you to support war. A lot of things we can talk about. Like what was what kind of started the thread off anyway? We were discussing was China and Africa, like this big port that's being taken over. Let's get you a picture of this real quick. This one right here. No, that's not going to show it. Right here. No, is that it? No, it's not showing up. I don't want to do it. Nope, not right there. What we need is real people. The problem is social media has no place for real people. They only have a place for fake people, right? Social media wants to become big media. The only way you become big media is all this tribal nonsense, right? The tribalism. You have to be black, you have to be white, you got to be Democrat, you got to be Republican, you got to be American, you got to be Russia, you got to go fight for your team. But you can't be truthful. You can't be a human being. Nope, you got to be an apathetic bastard, right? That's how big media make their money. They make their money on conflict. They don't make their money on like talking about honest and truthful things, fair and balanced. But this is what kind of started off. We were talking about China, right? We were talking about confessions of an economic hitman, right? Like people looking, it's like, oh my gosh, So China they're going to take over that port in Kenya, right? Because this is how. If you ever read the book Confessions of an Economic Hitman, you would know that this is just the model. This is what we did, right? This is colonization. Say, oh, well, and I think this is how I got pushed over to the Mike Gravel video where they were saying that, Mike is, he was gonna talk about this. And I just couldn't listen to the video. I couldn't listen to it. Because he started off talking about what are we gonna do with the spoils of war? And then you're gonna talk to me about economic hitman. You're going to talk to me about debt colonization, right? How that's bad. How China's a little better doing it than we are. That financial violence, that debt colonization is better than physical colonization. Same damn thing. In fact, to be honest with you, what China's doing might be worse. Like in the front, colonizing and invading and taking a nation is one thing. But in the long term, the slaves, I guess they become a part of the colony, and the farmer has a the master has a vested interest in the slave to a degree, keeping him alive. But like financially, like indebting a nation financially to your nation, that's a little different, right? Who dies more? What kills more? Guns, war, or finances? And I think it might be finances. I think poverty kills more because poverty just has that long-term, slow, grinding death of a people. Anyway, there we go. So glad my kids are pretty much too old to enlist. Somebody said that. You know what? We were talking about enlistment last year, or it's this year, Memorial Day. I like enlistment. I think I know what? No, not enlistment. I like the draft. Somebody mentioned on some channel somewhere, they were talking about if we had the draft, war would stop overnight. It would be done. Because the only reason war exists is because you got people backing them up. It's easy to blame the politicians for the war, but the reality is it's the people getting behind them, right? If people getting behind these politicians knew that their kids might have to go to war, that they might have to get drafted, nobody would vote for war. Everybody would shut down. They'd shut down the federal government, and they would start all over, right? If you were forced to do you got me thinking of something. If you were forced to do what the military has to do, these young people, nobody would vote for any party. Nobody would believe that a chicken fast food joint's gonna stop selling chicken. Nobody would believe that a federal government's gonna stop trafficking weapons and starting war. Nobody would believe that a burger joint's gonna stop selling burgers. It would stop. People wouldn't vote for it. They wouldn't consent to it. That's interesting. It makes me think about policing. Because I don't blame the police and I don't blame the military. Why? Because they don't write their job descriptions. They're people who usually, most of them want to help. Some of them a little psycho nuts, but most of them want to help. If everybody had to be drafted as police, what would that do to America? That's interesting. If everybody had to serve as police, would people continue to vote for mass incarceration? Would they continue to vote for the war on drugs? Would they continue to vote for two political parties that aren't changing any damn laws because they already got paid for the laws, keeping slavery up? Somebody said they saw Harriet. That actually might be, you know what? As scary as that sounds, if you forced everybody to serve as police, to serve in the military, America would be a very different place. You wouldn't have such popular, proud apathy and indifference. Anyway, good morning. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing? America is in debt with China. If they recall our debt, we'll stop using the dollar, the entire economy will collapse. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things happening at that level, Susan. And I'm not going to convince you, totally what goes on. I just know that these nations, they work a lot more together than they don't, right? Like they're a lot more in the game together than they're like opposing each other. Let me see. Oh, good morning, everybody over here. Lady. Oh, Trish and Tina, y'all done came over. That's Zuckerberg. Well, Tina, it's not Zuckerberg's fault. Zuckerberg, it's not even Facebook's fault, right? Like they have to operate in a country that requires war, right? And you have a deep state that runs all of that. And so anybody that wants to be big has to go along with their message. And if you have an anti-war message at some point in time, you're going to feel that pressure. And that pressure doesn't come from Facebook. It doesn't come from YouTube, doesn't come from Google. It comes from the war machine, right? It comes from the GDP. It comes from this massive, none of it's evil. Not as a component base, right? The system is evil as a whole, right? Because everyone's got their little part and piece of it, but it creates this massive a system that requires popular war. It requires popular apathy and indifference. And that aggression is felt from anything that gets a big, big voice. You get a big, big voice, you're gonna feel the push of this systematic violence, right? And so I don't blame Zuckerberg. It's just fake. I told y'all it's gonna happen. I told you it's gonna happen. Let me see. Draft would end war. Yeah, Carolyn, that's what I think. I think draft would end war. I think a draft in the draft in the police would end all the police. I think it would be the end of the police state. I don't blame the order followers because we all follow orders. I blame the system that requires you lie to people about the orders. That's my issue. I think we would treat each other more kindly, maybe. Well, I know so, Megan, when people can actually see what our nation is actually about, and they'll realize this ain't our nation. They're not going to want to be a part of it. That's why I agree with Martin Luther King. I agree with Martin Luther King. Well, as William Pepper said it, that he felt that Martin Luther King wanted to do a constitutional convention, a shutting down of the federal government to fix it. It's irrevocably broke, right? And that's why all the black politicians or at the time, the leaders in the civil rights movement, they all turned on Martin Luther King, right? Because he actually found, he saw the matrix code. He realized that it was always about getting one side to fight with another. And he's just finally like, you know what, I'm done with it. We need to help everybody. And the minute he did that, they turned his back on him. I was posting about William Pepper this weekend, right? Because, a lot of people still don't realize that Martin Luther King did not die from a gunshot. He died from a pillow, right? He was smothered and nobody killed him because they were racist. It killed, well, the guy who killed him was racist, but it killed him because he started to stand up for the children in Vietnam, right? Lyndon Johnson promised the civil rights movement, all those leaders, a lot of money because Lyndon Johnson was making big money from the Vietnam War, and Martin Luther King had ethics and he stood up. And that's why he was killed. And the black civil rights movement stepped back like, okay, you can kill him. And I check the FBI files, check the FBI files. But they like to keep this narrative that, oh, they killed him because of racism, right? They do that because it keeps people divided so they can't actually change anything. Right? So that's just how the system works. Balance is key. Yes, Tina, balance is key. And education's important. We're in a apocalypse of ignorance. So talking is what we have to do right now. We have to talk about truthful things and people have to rediscover their ethics, right? You have to rediscover your morals. You have to stop being apathetic and stop listening to leaders and lead your own damn self. That's what you have to do. You got to lead your own damn self. You don't need nobody to lead you. That's the only way to work because you can't get big being honest. You only get big if you pick a side, right? You won't stay big. So this is why, and I'm gonna get knocked out. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get totally knocked out. At a certain point in time, you say, where did that dude go? The guy used to talk about, I liked some of the stuff he said. Then he talked about aliens and stuff. The guy disappeared, where'd he go? Well, I have to be honest. I don't like you bombing kids. And I know that your politicians lying about you on stopping the wars, right? And then eventually they'll wipe all of this out. So you gotta lead yourself. I'm not here to lead anybody. I'm just saying truthful things till I get all my stuff deleted. Down with Fascist book. Yeah, I hear you, Patricia. I'm not upset with them. They got to do their job. It is Facebook's job to be pro-war. It's their job, right? It is absolutely their job to be pro. It is the job of ABC to be pro-war. It's the job of CBS to be pro-war. It's their job, Fox News, all around. It's their job to be pro-pedophile. Why? Because the pedophiles and the warmongers run the world, right? This is the cabal, right? They have to be pro on these things. Like we were talking about Epstein this week, and that's another part of it. It's like, oh, well, we need to release the 1,000 names. Do you actually think anybody powerful is in that 1,000 names? There's nobody powerful in there. All the powerful people had their names removed already. That's why the names aren't released. They're removing them. They're buying their names off the list. That's how evil and corrupt our little world is. It's just, we believe some silly things. We believe that powerful, well-connected people get killed in prison. People who own prison industries and nations and friends of those people who actually bribe and blackmail as a lifestyle and stayed alive this long, having dirt on some of the most powerful people on this planet, stayed alive by not having things they could blackmail everybody with. No, of course. They rescued him. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. They rescued the guy. That's just the reality. I'm gonna stay in solidarity with the people who were hurt most until proven otherwise. They rescued the guy because that's what they've always done. They always stage the rescue. They always protect their boys. They protect their guys. So yeah, that's what the media is supposed to do. The media's job isn't to tell you the truth. The media's job is to keep you lying to your friends. The media's job is to keep you on a side and in conflict with some other poor people. Its job is to keep you in conflict, the left in conflict with the right in conflict with the left, so you don't change anything. You don't affect the police state. You don't make no lives matter. You don't end mass incarceration, and you damn sure don't stop the wars. That's their job. And as long as people believe that is their job, and we can't blame them for their job, that is the media's job. It's social media's job. Is to maintain profits. And how you maintain profits? You do what the state wants. Big companies need profit. The state needs power. And the state only keeps power is if you can keep people fighting each other. And you keep people fighting each other, the state gets power and the corporations get the profit. That's just how it works. So I don't blame any of them for it. They don't like it when their money's threatened. No, Tina, they don't like it and they'll do anything to keep it. The only color they see is green. That's the only color that's important is green. People need to stop being colors. They need to grow the hell up. Let me see. And when people can actually fulfill their purposes instead of being slaves to the system. Well, and that Megan, they don't want anyone serving a purpose. They need people to be slaves to the system because that's where power comes from. Can you go live on MeWe? Hillary, I'll try it. I don't think so. I have a MeWe account. I don't think they have a live feature, but I haven't looked over there in a long time. I'll take a look. United Nations is the New World Order police. Exactly, Carolyn, and that's the point. And America is the tip of the spear, right? This is all owned by central banking and those 13 families. America is not a country. America is a slave colony, and they use it for war, right? And that is its purpose. America can't stop, the Democrats can't stop the wars. The Republicans can't stop the wars. Our purpose is to be the tip of the spear for globalization, for this new world order, colonization, or that's not gonna stop. If America actually stood up and was anti-war, they'd collapse America into a third world country, which is what I think is coming anyway. They're gonna do it anyway, but they would do it almost immediately, right? Like that's America's purpose in the war. And as long as in the world, and as long as Americans don't know that, then they can get away with it. But if Americans start to realize that, then it's going to be a problem. And they'll have to send all the weapons over to Russia, and Russia can be the tip of the spear, or China can be the tip of the spear. But you got to have a Rothschild bank. And I think, Russia's got their Rothschild bank. China, I don't know about. I forgot the list. But, this is how the world really works. The world works on money. And I think that's why I got in trouble. Because I don't believe the world works on politics. It doesn't. People need to stop with this. The politicians are going to end the war. You can go lie to other people on other days, but you ain't gonna lie on Veterans Day. Come on, have a heart. You don't get to come out here and lie on. Too many people have died for you to have such a cushy lifestyle to get out there and lie to other people into believing that your politician is going to end the war. They're not out there to end the war. They can't end the war. They can't end any wars. They don't have the power. I don't like to let people lie about that on Veterans Day. It's too personal to me, and I know too many people who died in war. We got sisters like Sister Cindy Sheehan. We have too many moms who've lost their children in lying wars. So you don't get to lie about that today. You can lie about it other days when we're kind of pushed around a lot of different issues, but I'm not gonna let you lie about it to me today. It's not gonna happen. The cabal feels that depopulation agenda isn't going fast enough. They're ramping up because people are fighting back. I think so, Megan. And I like to talk about, overpopulation because we're not overpopulated. We misallocate resources. It's a cabal that's telling people that they're overpopulated. This planet can support 100 billion human beings if we divided them up and dispersed them out. If we gave up these road systems and cars, and we started using some of the drone technology, the anti-gravitic devices some of the veterans told us about. They've been seeing the Foo Fighters since World War II, right? We know we don't need roads. We don't need fossil fuels. It's all about a cabal and profits. We can live in sync with nature. We're just choosing not to because people are indoctrinated. They believe this media. Indeed, the destruction is going on in speed, poison everywhere. GS, weather manipulation, vaccines, etc. Yes, Christine, it's full spectrum domination, right? If you cheer leaders who say full spectrum dominance in other people's countries and nations, you expect that full spectrum dominance to come home. They got the same thing running right here, right now. It has nothing to do with nationalism. Just saying, right, Citizen Deb, because nations don't exist. Nations do not exist. All you have are corporations and cabals and billionaires, trillionaires struggling and fighting over world power. The nations are just for silly people who don't know how the world works, immature people who still believe in political systems and that they're just, the only purpose of government is they needed a way to manage the colonies. That's the only purpose of government. And if you convince people that they actually had say in their government, then they would ignore the real power in the world. That's the only purpose of government, keeping people in conflict the same way they do with races. But there are no nations anymore. And besides, who was it? Who was it? I posted it this weekend. Was it John Adams? Had a quote, said something to the effect of, like something about dissent being the true patriotism is a, I'm gonna mess up the quote. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna say it wrong. But a real patriot will dissent against their government, right? That's what a real patriot does. Patriots don't cheer flags. Patriots do the right thing, right? It's like how parents are patriots for their children, right? Parents are patriots for their children by correcting them. When your government's wrong, you correct it. You don't cheer for it. When you realize that it's run by international billionaires that they're colluding with, you don't keep clapping for it. One of my issues is with the states. The states can end this. The states can shut it down. The states can pause the federal government with a constitutional convention and remove the billionaires that are international that own the federal government. And the states aren't doing it, only because the states are cash strapped. This is why I'm saying it all comes back to people. We have fail safes, and it all goes back to the people. And if people don't stand up, then this is where it's gonna go. There's a video called The Arab Holocaust with music by Genocide that keeps getting people knocked down everywhere it's posted. Oh wow, AC Kane, keep pulling. Okay, we'll post the link and it'll probably get knocked down. But that's all we can do. That's all we can do. War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yes, Susan, unless you're a billionaire, unless you're a corporation, unless you're a political party, then war is fantastically great. Unless you have like no heart, no warm blood beating in your chest, war is fantastic. But if you got warm heart, you got sentience, you got children, you got a clue, war is not for you. War is not good at all. I trust the veterans. I trust the veterans over my government any day. And the kids did their job, right? They signed up for war. They signed up for the military, for defense. They went and served. They realized it was a lie, and they came home and told the truth. Hey, we were guarding poppy fields, and I didn't see any terrorists anywhere. We were making terrorists. We were, flying drones, dropping bombs on kids, right? I'm not doing this anymore. They did their job. Now we got to do our job. Right? And this is why I appreciate the veterans for their service, because they went over there, they realized the war was a lie, and they came home and they told us. And now it's time for us to react. It's time for us to do our job. Are we going to do it? That's the question. Let me see. Veterans who don't serve in active wars on the front lines or through droning, etc., don't see the reality of war as much, in my opinion. Right, Megan? But also some who don't also. Right? Because there's this thing is designed. It's genius, Megan. Because even some of the veterans who serve, they don't see the real dirt, right? They don't see the planes full of cash. They don't see the drugs. They make sure that only a very small portion of the military sees that. That's why I'm saying, well, you can't trust all the veterans. You can't trust, because some of them didn't see the right things. It's like anything else. You trust the whistleblowers who saw the right things, and you make decisions based on what they say. And that's why WikiLeaks is important. That's why Assange is a hero, because they tell us the truth about war and that it's always lie. But then they also tell us the truth that that's what our GDP is based on, right? So we have tough decisions to make. And just where I'm coming from, I actually believe in world reparations. I was thinking about it this weekend. My brother was talking about, what was he talking about? A lot of silly stuff, but he said some good things. He said there was some sort of a study into how America was built on slavery. Project 1869, 1617, 19, something, I don't know, maybe one of y'all knows what that is. But I said, I was trying to explain to him, I said, well, but slavery, that particular slavery, yeah, it built the nation. It built the nation. And it didn't start with Africans. It started with the Irish, and then the Africans, and then Chinese. And, the Africans got the worst of it because they could separate them out. But the reality was that didn't set up America. That actually set up global power, right? So when you talk about reparations, you need to talk about like the real, like where did the world power structure come from? The world power structure came from the fact that you got basically AI. You got people that you pulled into slavery and you made them into an AI. You had an automated workforce that just didn't need a break. And so you built up this world power called America, and it dominated the entire planet. And this is where we are right now. So when you talk about reparations, you got an entire world that needs reparations. Right? It's not like a little piece. It's not one little group. It's not one little race. You have a world of people. You got 5 million people that are dead since 9/11, besides the fact of all the wars that have continued from the very beginning up till now, right? That's where we are. We're in a place of world reparations. So I'm not interested in like reparating one little piece, little pie part right here. You have a world that through slavery and fiat currency just destroyed everything, and all global power came from that. And people don't seem to think about it big enough. They think about it from their own little indoctrinated piece, and I'm just not interested. I'm like, listen, if we're at the party and we find out they got these rape rooms going on, we didn't know what was going on in the morning, we need to talk about not what to do with what we robbed other people. They robbed a woman's purse and raped her upstairs. We don't need to talk about how y'all gonna spend the money. We need to talk about what the hell happened. We need to talk about this coming to an end. Right? We need to talk about, somebody needs to call 911 for the people up in that Epstein room. We didn't know that was going on, but now we do. What are we gonna do? We're gonna spend the money on healthcare. I don't know. All you can do is love people, though. That's all you can do. You can love people and just try to educate them. That's where we are. Let me see. I'm gonna do the last couple comments and I'm gonna get out of here. But that's who I'll speak for. I'll speak for the veterans. The homeless veterans, the ones they throw in prisons. The top of the list for domestic terrorists right now are veterans. Don't tell me that you love veterans and you look out for veterans and support the troops. That's BS. I come from a military family. You gonna lie to other people, you ain't gonna lie to me. Most vets I know feel differently, Lori. What are y'all talking about? Bloodlines, design the system. Yes, Carolyn, they did. The phone ring. Yes, Tina, people trying to sell me stuff. I'm not interested in buying. That's what happens in a bad economy where your economy's being collapsed by billionaires and your currency's being shut down because your country's being looted. Is corporations get desperate. They want to sell you stuff all the time. You start getting these telemarketer calls. All veterans I know hate war. Most of them I know, Tina, they hate war. There are a few that just, I don't know what to do with. But the vast majority came home and said the wars are a lie, that we're actually making enemies and we shouldn't be involved in any of this. It had nothing to do with the defense of our nation. It has to do with big corporations. And we learned that from General Smedley Butler, right? War is a racket. So we know that. The question is what we're going to do about it. And that's what got me kicked off this morning. What we're gonna do about it? We're not gonna keep lying about it. That's not what I'm gonna do about it. I'm not gonna keep lying about it that you can keep put another politician in end the purpose for America. No, America is the tip of the spear. That is our job. Our job is war. Period. We have to suspend the federal government and we need to fix it. That's what needs to happen. You need to shut down the engine and fix it. You're not gonna fix the federal government while it's running. But while we do that, we got to think about resource-based economy. We got to think about a world that doesn't require war and violence. A lot of good comments here. Let me see. A lot of good comments. I like military men. I like everybody. Who's that? Botanic Hunter. I like military everybody. I like military women too. Like, they're people just with passion. They want to serve. I like police. They're just people with passion who want to serve. They don't determine they want to serve, but it's the job description that's the problem. I appreciate people with heart. Everybody thinks they're right. It's like what we say all the time. Everybody thinks they're right. And if everybody thinks they're right, then, and that's how the world works, then no one's like, oh, I'm bad, I'm gonna keep doing bad stuff. No, everybody thinks they're right. Everybody thinks that they're doing a little bit of bad for a greater good. So the answer isn't to fight them and tell them that they're wrong. The answer is to give them information so they can realize that they didn't have the whole story. They didn't have the big picture. All right, let me see. They're indoctrinated to feel that way. I don't blame. Right, Megan, and that's exactly my point. People are indoctrinated. All you can do is tell them the truth and hope that they vibrate a little more into a positive resonance, that they sense more people, that they start to universally sense instead of just for their own group. It's like what I was saying this, I think it was this weekend I was mentioning. We say the people who are like into themselves, that they're self-absorbed, they're self-centered, and that's a bad thing. But when it comes to your group that you're indoctrinated to, what is it? Somebody who's always talking about black people. But it's somebody who's always talking about Christian people. But it's somebody who's always centered on American. But it's somebody who's always centered Democrats or Republicans. If it's self-centered on an ignorant one-person scale, it's self-centered on an ignorant one-group scale. We need to stop being self-centered. We need to apply the sayings that we say that make sense on one level, on all levels. Stop being self-censored. It's indoctrination. And when you can show people that, then they have an escape from it. If they don't realize that they're being conditioned and controlled from birth, then it's this fight. You telling them they're wrong and they know that they're right, and they actually are, right? In their experiences and how they were raised, that they are right. It's an information war. That's the reality. Everybody wants to rule the world. Yes, they do. Tears for Fears. Go on, Lori. Everybody wants to rule the world, and that's why power can't exist. You can't have power over anybody. You got to listen to the veterans. You got to listen to the veterans. You got to listen to stop listening to these politicians. Their job is to get as much money as they can to keep their butt in office for their political party. That's their job. They're doing their job. They're doing their job. I don't blame them. They're doing their job. We're not doing our job, right? The only reason government lies is because we listen. And so they're required to lie, you know? I'm not listening. And that's why I couldn't even watch the thing. That's probably why I got reported. I couldn't watch it. I don't really care what Mike Gravel has to say about what he wants to do with the spending from the party, the rape party, Epstein rape party. I took civics class. I realized we're not supposed to be involved with this. If we go to a party, that's my analogy for the day. It's the American analogy. We find out we were at a party, some real bad things happen at the party. At this point in time, we need to be like, you know what? We need to help the people who got hurt at this party first. You know, that's what we need to do first. And then you need to get their purse back. Don't use their purse and go buy walls and healthcare and single payer and universal basic income. No, it's not your money. It's not your money. You don't take, do you understand that analogy? Don't take a stand. Don't collude with people who don't believe in the things that you think that they're supposed to believe in, right? If you're against slavery, then don't take any slavery money. Right? That's what our GDP does. If you're against war, then don't take any of the war money. You know, that's where we are. So anyway, happy Veterans Day to the veterans who were honest about it. If you don't know what the USS Liberty is, you need to spend time looking at the USS Liberty. The things that own your nation shouldn't exist. This is Gerard. Phone's ringing again. Somebody got something. I ain't going. Have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.